Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have an exciting one. I'm going to be giving you 5 tips to help you get better at disc golf fast. It's important to note that these tips are applicable to players of all different skill levels, whether you're a first timer just starting to play disc golf or you're an experienced player that's been playing for many years. These tips can help you get better. And before we get started in the video, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Chris. I am co-owner of a disc golf store called Disc Zone in Santa Cruz. Our shop's been open for about a year and 4 months now. So if you haven't seen me before, make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully you'll find this content very valuable. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Getting into tip number 1, it is arguably the most important tip in this list. It is to film yourself throwing. And preferably you'd want to do this in slow motion. Whether you use your iPhone or any level of phone with slow motion video or a camera, it is definitely an important tip. The reason it's important is for 2 main reasons. Number 1, it's definitely the most useful tool to help you kind of identify what problems you may have in throwing. For myself, about a year and a half into throwing, I had never filmed myself, and I kind of reached a plateau in terms of how far I was throwing and how accurate I was. I kind of wanted to increase my distance and just become a better player in general. And I tried a bunch of different things, but none of them were really working. And there's so many YouTube videos out there that can help you get better, but if you can't identify the problem that you have, you'll fall down this rabbit hole of trying all these different things that maybe you're not even struggling with. So when I first started filming myself throwing, I was able to easily identify problems that I had, and from there, I could look up videos that can help me improve my form in general. For the second major thing in this tip, you can easily compare yourself to other professional disc golfers via your slow motion videos. So there are plenty of YouTube videos out there, whether it's Simon Lizotte, Ricky Wysocki, Anthony Brella, Gannon Buhr, many other pros throwing backhand and forehand slow motion. So essentially, you could copy your favorite player's form quite literally and essentially replicate a form that's already proven to be very good. And you don't have to do everything, but you literally can. You could copy the way they step, placement of their feet, how they X-step, their timing, their arm placement, their head placement. I mean, I can go on. There's so many different factors that go into a disc golf throw, but if you can rely on people that have done this and do this for a living, it's easy to improve your form and become the player that you want to become. I highly recommend filming yourself throw in slow motion. And if you can't identify the problems yourself, you can go to your local coach. You can go to a professional player at your course. You can look it up online. Disc golf is a great community where a lot of people want to help each other out. So don't be afraid to take a video of yourself and post it online and try to get some help. Getting into tip number 2, it is to play with people that are better than yourself. Now, I'm not saying that playing with people that are of the same skill level or of worse skill level is worse for your game. However, playing with better players, you're able to see what type of throws they do, their technique, you're able to see their mentality, how they approach the game, what kind of disc selection they choose, the type of shots they throw, the creativity they have, their consistency. I mean, I can go on. So there's a lot of different factors that you can see in a player that's better than you. By seeing that, you could take some things from them, take some bits and pieces and kind of learn from them and apply it to your game. As an example, I've only been playing for 2.5 years. I wouldn't say I'm a great player by any means. I'm 958 rated, but luckily as a disc golf store owner, I sponsored 2 players, Avi and Manny, who are very good professional players, some of the best players on the West Coast in the US. And from them, I am able to learn so many different things. Just like I said before, shot quality, consistency, power. I could all watch that visually while we're playing in rounds, while we're practicing. And also I could bounce ideas off of them. They could help me by watching my technique and kind of understand maybe why I struggle with certain problems. It's just overall been a great contributor to why I am the disc golfer I am today. And I wouldn't be actually the disc golfer I am today without them. So whether it's playing with your buddy's buddy that's a really good player or going to the course and asking a local pro to play with them, I'm sure that they would be happy to do so. People in disc golf are pretty nice, so don't be afraid to ask. So an important note with playing with people that are better than yourself, it is important to be both mindful and respectful of yourself and others. What I mean by mindful is it's important to not have these expectations of yourself to perform to the level of the players you're playing with, whether it's your buddy, a local pro, or a really good player just in general. You are your own person. You perform how you perform. It's important not to compare yourself and have these expectations to perform at a level that is unreasonable. In terms of respect, it's important to respect the game and other people, because if you show some sort of emotions wherein you really shouldn't be, or you get really upset for maybe just missing a simple putt, in the end, it's okay. Everyone misses putts. Everyone makes mistakes, not only in disc golf, in other aspects of life, and that's okay. And it's important not to do that repeatedly, because it not only creates a bad vibe for the players you play with, but it creates this negative concept of maybe not performing to how you want to perform on the course. And so when you make a mistake, you're always going to think negative, and that's just something you don't want to create as a habit. But besides that, as long as you don't do those two things, playing with people that are better than yourself will be a great experience to helping you become a much better player. Getting into tip number 3, this is actually Avi's tip for this video. It is to develop a consistent routine. And in my mind, that applies into 2 different sections. Number 1, it is to have a consistent routine for each shot. Kind of similar to golf, you have a practice swing, you kind of visualize your shot and you throw. For example, for myself, I do a practice throw, and then I visualize 3 different things. I visualize the angle I want my disc to release on, how high I want to release it, and how hard I want to throw it. By doing this routine before I throw, it helps me focus, 1, and 2, it helps me create a routine to develop consistency within my throw. I know how fast I'm going to run up. I know how I want to throw it, where I want my arm to be. So many different factors that will just help me become a more consistent disc golfer. Besides just developing consistency, it will also improve confidence. If you're competing in a tournament, whether it's your first time or you've been playing in tournaments for a long time, tournament jitters is a fairly normal thing, I would say. At any level of the sport, it's important to have confidence, trust in your routine, whether it's putting, whether it's throwing, and just believe that you can do this because you've done it many, many, many times before. And if you haven't done it before, just develop a routine that you trust. You don't necessarily have to copy exactly what I do, where I focus on the angles and how hard I want to throw. Everyone's different. You can do whatever you'd like, but as long as you develop the routine, it'll help you become a more consistent and more confident player at a very fast rate. And now for the second part, I would say developing a consistent practice routine is also equally as important. If you feel like you're playing and you're struggling with putting on the course, maybe focus on putting X amount of times per week. Or if you're struggling with throwing sidearms, I would focus on throwing a certain amount of sidearms per week and kind of just working on different aspects of your game. Or for stuff you're even good at, if you're pretty good at throwing backhand hyzer flips, continue to work on that. Just develop some sort of routine to help you become a better player, whether it's playing practice rounds, doing field work, practicing putting. All of the above things I just stated will help you become a better player at a fast rate. Getting into tip number 4, this is actually something that helped me become the disc golfer that I am today. It helped me improve at a fast rate, and it is developing consistency, specifically with disc selection. So what I mean by that for myself, I'm a player that likes to throw slide hyzer to flat shots. I am a player that can throw hyzer flips and can throw anhyzer shots. However, I would say I'm not as consistent or comfortable as it when I am throwing flat to slide hyzer. So I learned that in a very short amount of time. And what I told myself is, comparative to everyone, is that I want a disc that flies straight and it has a nice slight finish at the end. And the reason for this is because the consistent finish at the end will help you develop consistency within your throw. So the first disc for me that ever did that was an Innova Halo Star TL3. I could throw it out flat, it can go straight and have a nice finish at the end. Went 300-ish feet for me, maybe a little more, a little less, and I could easily replicate the shot because it never wanted to turn over. unless it was raging headwind. I'm not necessarily telling you to get the most overstable thing like a Firebird or a Captain's Raptor or a Nuke OS or whatever it is based on your arm speed, because although it will finish consistently to the left or right depending on how you throw it, you won't get the distance. So you kind of want to find a disc that fits your throw, will go straight without turning over that much, and have a nice consistent finish. To counter that, in my bag, I throw a Discmania Neo Essence, which is a flippy disc. Although I can get much more distance out of it than an Innova Halo Star TL3, based on how I throw, I can't consistently do it all the time. And if you can't consistently do that shot all the time, then it becomes much more difficult to replicate, especially if you don't have much time to practice or you don't play that much in general. Finding a disc that can just go straight and finish to the left is very easy to replicate because you don't have to worry about putting different angles on the disc. You could just focus on throwing what you're comfortable with. And I like to do that personally for all different slots in my bag. So putter, mid-range, fairway driver, driver. For me, putter is an Envy, mid-range is a Buzz, fairway driver is a beat-up Firebird or a Volt. My distance driver is a Destroyer. Those are my 4 most consistent discs. I can throw them out flat, they'll go straight, have a little finish at the end. And if I find a shot on the course that doesn't fit that slot, maybe a putter shot that goes straight but finishes to the right, and I don't want to throw that Envy, I just find another disc to fit that slot. And I do that with the putter, the mid-range, the fairway driver, and the distance driver until my bag is complete and I have a shot for any shot on the course. I can throw shots that finish to the left, to the right, with all the discs in my bag. And now to sum this all up, I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn how to throw hyzer flips or you shouldn't learn how to throw flex shots. I'm just telling you this is definitely a tip that helped me become a consistent player, which ultimately made me a better player much faster. I could rely on those 4 discs the most on the course to just go straight and have a little finish at the end. And I could replicate that over and over and over again. And so I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn how to hyzer flip or you shouldn't learn how to throw flex shots ever. I think those are definitely essential parts of the game, but you should focus on improving the shot you're most comfortable with and kind of learn that quickly and develop the skill set with that, because you'll throw that shot the most on the course, in my opinion. And over time, once you develop that skill set and you develop your bag, you could kind of improve. You could improve on hyzer flips, those flex shots. And yeah, once you learn all those shots, you can become a complete player. In my mind, this tip is essentially focused on you becoming a much better disc golfer quicker with the throw that you know best. Getting into tip number 5, it is arguably the most important tip of them all. It is to have fun. You may do all these tips in this list and you may be reaching some of your goals, but eventually some of you may reach a roadblock and it may be frustrating. You may be working on it for days, weeks, months, however long, and it can get really frustrating. However, I believe it's very important to have fun and realize, maybe take a step back from your situation that you may be in and realize you're kind of just throwing discs in nature, whether it's in the woods, in the open field, or wherever it may be, you're just throwing discs in nature. I think it's important to reflect on your journey and kind of seeing your progression over time and how far you've come, and not to get stuck up on the little things or the stuff that may be frustrating you at this moment. It's important to have fun. Fun is different for everybody else, but whether it's doing ace runs at your local short course, or just playing around with your buddies, or just playing around by yourself, it's important to incorporate that into your routine as well, in order to not only help your mental wellness, but to overall improve your progression, because essentially you don't want to hit this plateau and actually regress because you're upset at progression or that you can't solve this problem that you've been working on. This tip applies to many other aspects of life as well, whether it's in your career or whatnot. You want to always try to have some fun, so have a nice balance and ultimately progress towards your goals much quicker. But with that being said, that kind of does it for this video. Those were 5 tips to help you improve as a disc golfer fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I'm always appreciative of your support. This channel's been around for a little over a year now, and it's crazy we have a little over 2,200 subscribers. We're on the road to 5K right now, So if you like content like this, I highly encourage you to like and subscribe. You will not be disappointed. Besides that, if you guys want to check out some discs, like I said earlier in the video, you can check out www.disczone.com to check out your disc golf needs. I have 18 different manufacturers, a bunch of different discs on the site, and hopefully you can find a disc on there for you to help you improve as a disc golfer. Like I said before, I really couldn't do this without all your support, whether it's watching my videos, subscribing to the channel, checking out the website, or all of the above. It really means a lot to me, and it allows me to do this for you guys, so I hope you find it beneficial to yourself. That kind of does it for this video. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.